Okay, welcome to Tuesday. I hope it's Tuesday where you are. It's Tuesday where I am, to the best of my knowledge anyway. Anyway, come on in. Come on in for a moment. 1972. In 1972, a young couple of people had kind of reached the pinnacle, if you will. In the music industry, they were reaching upward. They were on top of the world. In fact, their song came out on top of the world, looking down on creation. And the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love put me on the top of the world. Yeah, you may recognize it. Carpenters. Karen Carpenter had an amazing voice, didn't she? Amazing. Deep-throated, strong, vibrant, beautiful voice. One of those that's just really, really quite special. She and her brother formed quite a duo, and with their band they traveled the United States. They were all over the place. They had hits both in the United States and in England as well. Topped the charts in just a string of marvelous songs, beautiful songs, songwriters that gave them some of the very best that was out there. And one of the songs was, "I'm on top of the world." But we didn't know. We didn't know that this young 20-something-year-old Karen Carpenter, who had that gorgeous smile, who went so many places, who stood and sang those beautiful songs and ballads and had the world at her feet, was troubled. And the troubles were growing. Just a little over a decade later, the young woman in her early 30s was dead. Not so much from drug abuse, but from heart and mind abuse. Oh, not from somebody else so much. Like anybody else, she had the troubles with people, but that wasn't it. Karen Carpenter worried. She struggled. It caused an eating disorder in her life, and that was ultimately what brought about the problems that she had that brought her to die at such a youthful age. You would think that somebody with so much talent, so much ability, with the world at their feet, would be just, as you said, sitting on top of the world. Everything would be perfect in their lives. But with those image difficulties, with those struggles, with those desires to find somebody that would just truly love her and care about her as fully as she wanted to be. And maybe the answer wasn't really there. I don't know. We don't always know the demons that are going on inside of people. But the struggles are there. We can make a list of singers and such, the entertainers whose lives look like they ought to be at the very best. That they ought to feel like they've got the world on a string. But like Karen Carpenter, the inner struggles are just overwhelming to them. The rest of us may not be that far from it. And maybe they are just exaggerated or extra strong in people like that. Maybe they found that. But it reminds us that no matter what else might be going on in life, no matter how wealthy, how popular, how talented you may be, there may be inner struggles that are greater than we even begin to imagine as we look at other people. And what we're reminded is we get caught up in things and we miss some of the great values round about us. I've thought how marvelous it would have been if her life could have been as fortunate in her heart as it appeared to be and as it sounded in her voice. Every time I hear one of her songs, I think, what a marvelous voice. How sad it was that it came to an end so soon. Well, I'm reminded of some of the words of Jesus, and it's not exactly on point. But there in the 6th chapter of Matthew, Jesus spent time talking about the things that concern us, the worries that we have in life. And why do you worry? He says, why are you worrying about your life? I say to you, do not worry about your life. We get caught up in what we'll have, what we'll wear, how we'll look, and so forth. He asked the question in verse 27, How many of you can make yourself taller by worry? Can you add a little bit to your height that way? Doesn't work that way. What it comes down to is recognizing the great blessings that you have that God's put around you and how much care He has. And then seeking the best. He says in verse 33, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. I think there's a real balance to be found in what Jesus has to say. It's not to beat us up about our struggles, so we say, oh no, I've done wrong, I've worried about this. That's not His point. His point is learn what has real value. Learn what God can do. Learn the blessings that you have in your life. And then you don't get caught up in the worries. So on this Tuesday, it's a day to think about that. It's to think about how sad it is for life to be wasted when there's so much to be enjoyed. I wish Karen Carpenter could have learned that, and so many others like her. But even more, I want to learn it, and I want you to learn it with me, that we might know what the real values are in life. So there it is. That's for a Tuesday. It's a great day. And I think, you know what? We are on top of the world. Isn't it great? Hey, I'm glad you were with me today. We'll look forward to sharing some more things as we get a little further down the road. Again, thank you for being with me today.